And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. Ted, what's going on?
Oh,
we're losing it.
Oh, you know why? Because we're in the month of October. Weather's changing.
Can you tell me that again? Yeah, the other day it was 90 degrees in the Northeast, and today and yesterday it's raining and it was 50 degrees.
That's beautiful today.
Is it though? I'm looking outside. I'm looking outside right now. It's pretty good. It's kind of like Clemson right now. It's nice, but it's not been great. Clemson, the first month, all coming into this year, first month, we were talking Clemson, Alabama, foregone conclusion. They're going to be meeting.
And the Clemson was going to be historically great.
After a month, the Clemson Tigers have not been historically great. It's been it's been weird though the first month, I would say.
Think about this: the two best football teams, or surprises so far, in the month of September are both in the SEC, but their names are not Alabama and Georgia. Their names are LSU and Auburn. Those have been the two best football teams currently.
In the SEC?
No, in all of college football. That don't mean
wait, did you say the best teams? Or most surprising?
Overall. So they have the best wins, and they've been the most dominant. LSU went into Texas and dominated, and they've been dominant throughout this whole season. Then you look at Auburn. You get that big win against Oregon early. You got a true freshman at quarterback, Bo Nix.
Are you telling me Auburn is the second best team in college football?
No, I'm not ranking them. I'm not putting LSU in 1 and 2. This has nothing to do with rankings. This has to do with an overall review of September. If I was going to do a review in September, I would say Clemson hasn't looked good at all. They haven't looked like the superior team that everyone suspected. Mm-hmm. Alabama's been dominant, but they haven't played anyone. Okay, neither really is Ohio State.
Who cares? I mean, you got to play who's on your schedule, and you take.
I know that, but I was saying the two teams that have been dominant and also surprising in the way they've played in dominant fashion, it would be LSU. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow has put himself in the Heisman candidacy.
They have a quarterback that throws for more than 200 yards or 100 yards.
And then Auburn. Auburn went into Texas A&M and dominated Texas A&M. And we both had that game. Both had Texas A&M winning at home. We did. Dominated. Yeah, we did. And they also beat Oregon. Now,
Oregon's got one loss. That's very good. Both teams, that's good for Oregon. If they ever want to get to a college football playoff, they keep winning. And the Auburn Tigers, the best thing that can happen is Auburn continuously wins.
I mean, and they beat Mississippi State, and Mississippi State's always a tough team in the SEC. So you look
killed Mississippi State.
No, I know
they destroyed them. Auburn's looked great. Don't get me wrong.
And my takeaway from LSU is, and this is really, so we're doing a segment on review of September.
Can I give you my take?
Hold on, I was just going to finish off of the LSU thing.
Okay.
You look at where LSU has been. It's always been great defense and the running football. But now you look at, what is it? LSU's points per game is up more than 25 from last year and more than 30 points from the previous year. Mm-hmm. Tigers are second nationally in passing yards per game after following rankings in the previous 5 seasons: 67th, 84th, 101st, 106th, and 116th. And that's something that we've never talked about LSU. And that's the reason why I'm bringing that up, is because if you're going to compete for a national championship and you're going to beat Alabama, you got to be able to throw the ball, because teams that have beaten Alabama have been able to throw.
I want to say my thing before chat. My biggest overall take, yes, great surprise. SEC once again being the SEC. My biggest surprise, we might be on the verge of seeing the third straight Oklahoma quarterback winning a Heisman. Jalen Hurts has looked amazing. He's flourishing in that offense. Lincoln Riley is a genius. He's an offensive genius, and I would love to see him one day go into the NFL.
Do you know what his QBR is right now, bud?
It doesn't matter. What I've seen on paper, what he's done for the first 5 weeks, he's looked remarkable. He's looked like possibly the Heisman favorite right now, and he's the continued trend of Oklahoma quarterbacks possibly winning a Heisman. Lincoln Riley has to be in the mention. I mean, we all talk about Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney as the best coaches. Lincoln Riley's got to be right there, because Lincoln Riley is a genius, and it's showing again. Jalen Hurts, amazing. Now they got to play Texas soon. That's coming up in another week or two, I think. Texas, Oklahoma,
like 2 weeks.
Week 6 or 7, week 7 or 8.
Now I want to add to your point. You know this. Hurts right now is on pace to break the number of single season records, multiple ones, including passing efficiency and yards per pass. Right now he's averaging 15.2 yards per pass attempt. Yeah, it's incredible.
But who do you give credit to? Do you give it to him being that great of a quarterback, or you give it to?
I give it to the coach, but I also give it to the Oklahoma coaching staff and system. They gave this guy an opportunity to prove.
Well, you're a person that's been pretty adamant of always saying the players play and the coaches coach.
Yes.
So, but you say that you would give more credit to Lincoln Riley for his play on the field?
Well, here's the thing. I always thought Jalen Hurts was a good quarterback. But the Alabama system is set up for hand the ball off on first down, hand the ball off on second down, play action pass, don't turn the ball over, and we're going to play sound, great defense. That's the way Alabama. And we also have better talent.
There we go.
Here
We got
here he is.
Knish. The big old Knish. Big old Knish, you are live on Keys to the City. What's up?
What's cooking, guys?
What's cooking with you, big fella? I get to see you tomorrow. I'm excited. I can't wait to see you.
I got some big winners for you tomorrow.
So, Chaz, we were just before you get into the game picks, we were just talking a little bit of review of the September. You know, and it's an easy month. A lot of teams don't play, big
games.
time.
There's been some
there
big
haven't
games.
been that many big games. And I said right now, my two biggest surprises and dominant teams that I've seen so far is LSU and Auburn. Just because of the teams they played, the one that, and you're not surprised. Like Alabama's dominant. And
What
so
would be
Ohio
your
State.
what would be your quick takeaway from the first month? Of
Yeah, what would be
college
your
football?
takeaway in the month of September?
Really quickly, surprising that LSU actually adopted a modern offense and
That's
they're
what I
actually
said.
moving the football and throwing the football extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a huge surprise. I think really, let's be honest, guys. Take away Clemson's, national championship win last year and all that talent. Their resume is not very impressive.
Yeah, they don't
I
have the
think how
wins.
dominant the Buckeyes have been, how well Justin Fields has played. That they have not skipped a beat since Urban Meyer left. And I'm going to say it, guys, Michigan's offensive struggles have shocked me as well.
That does not. I don't know why I don't know why that surprises you. Every year it's surprising to you. It's not. I think it's comical because every year teams or this team is always hyped up to be. They're going to finally do it. They're going to get over the hump. Urban Meyer's going. They're going to beat Ohio State. Hell, who knows how many games they're winning if they're winning 8 or 9 this year. They do not look good. And that's why I just, each and every year, I'll never buy into this team until they get an actual quarterback, a really good quarterback. I'm sorry. That's just my
Just
take.
remember, if it wasn't for a botched snap and a misplaced football, Jim Harbaugh's narrative at Michigan would be very, very, very different.
Yeah,
that's all.
You're 100% right about that.
100% right, my brother.
I said Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has looked great. And I posted last week my top 5 teams, and I got a lot of criticism for it because I put Ohio. I want to know what your top 5 teams would be right now in the first month. And then we'll get to the games.
Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Georgia. I can't put Clemson there, guys. I'm sorry. They just haven't impressed me.
Would you put Auburn? Would you put Auburn?
No, I'm going to tell you who I really
Oklahoma?
want. I think Oklahoma.
So you have
Oklahoma
3
Notre Dame.
SEC teams in the top 5.
Yeah, as much as it painstaking me because I don't like anything besides the Waffle House south of the Mason-Dixie line. But yeah, I mean, I can't argue. I think LSU has been looked super explosive. That win against Texas on the road has been huge. Alabama, despite, not playing anybody, they've been blowing everybody out by 50. Guys, Clemson has sleptwalk. And I think that they remind me of that Jameis Winston Florida State team that the year after they won the national championship that sleptwalk through the regular season.
Must be an ACC thing.
Yeah. And
ACC thing.
honestly, they have not looked impressive.
Nope. They
Well,
should have lost.
well,
They
here's
should have
the thing.
lost last week to North Carolina.
When you don't have any big games on your schedule and you're an 18, 19,
you play to your
20-year-old
levels
kid,
competition. You play to your levels competition.
and it's hard to get these kids up thinking, think about it. Trevor Lawrence going in. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You got 2 NFL wide receivers. You got a NFL running back. Dabo Swinney's your coach. You're Clemson. You got no competition. You're like, listen, I can walk on the field and I'm better than all these guys. So there's no enthusiasm. There's no reason for them to every week go in. I mean, I'm just waiting for them to put a hurting on somebody, like a 50-point blowout in the ACC, and then we're like, okay, Trevor Lawrence throws for 500 yards, and then we're all shut up. So I'm not crazy for saying Ohio State right now after the first month is the best team in college football. I'm not crazy for that. At least we'll
and I'm not a biased. I'm a homer. I know I'm an Ohio State guy, but I've seen a lot of people pit Ohio State number 1 in the country right now.
I think everybody was questioning whether Justin Fields was going to be able. He's outplayed and has better numbers than Dwayne Haskins. I think everybody was concerned with Urban Meyer leaving, and I think that one of the big things that this team has realized is there's going to be no hiccups like there have been years in the past. There's going to be no 30-point losses to Iowa. We are going to take care of business this year.
And I'll back him up. Chaz did say, watch out, Ohio State.
You did say last week, national championship. That's your prediction. Let's get into the games, though. Big week in the SEC. We'll talk about that game in a few. But we're going to start off in the Pac-12. This could have been a top 15 matchup a week ago. Cal, if they just beat Arizona State.
Herm Edwards, baby.
We beat Herm Edwards. Two very impressive wins this year. They have Michigan State, and now they beat Cal. Two impressive wins.
At Cal and at Michigan.
That is true.
That's a miss.
So, does Cal go in to Autzen Stadium? And an Oregon team that's starting to click right now. Herbert's looks great. Nobody's really talking about Justin Herbert this year, but he's looked great. Does the Cal Bears come back and take out the Pac-12 for good? Because I think this is the only chance for the Pac-12, the only team in Oregon. And Oregon also needs Auburn to keep winning because it looks good on the resume then if they lost like that. So do the Bears go into Autzen and pull off the upset?
I would rather watch Fox News in the Pac-12. So let's keep this like Teddy between the sheets, short and sweet. Oregon's offense depends on their ability to run the football. It stalled against Auburn and Stanford, and the offense struggled. It clicked against Nevada and Montana, and they looked like the vintage Ducks when Chip Kelly rolled the sidelines. The Evan Weaver for Heisman campaign will get a major boost this weekend as the Bears defense will stymie Oregon's rushing attack. There's no way Oregon's losing in the zoo, but I'm going to take the 17.5 here.
I found this spread huge. I just looked at it, I'm like, all right, that's a huge spread considering Cal 1 week ago was the 15th ranked team in the football.
The second game. Here we go. This could be for his job. I know it's crazy, but the Big House could be hearing a lot of boos if they don't perform well this week. The Hawkeyes of Iowa are going in to the Big House to take on your favorite guy, Jim Harbaugh, and Big Blue. What's going to happen? Is Iowa for real? Because they haven't played a very good schedule. They're 6-11 combined opponents record, one of the worst in the college football. Does Michigan? I don't know. What's going to happen? This game is very intriguing. What happens? Does your team win? Or do the Iowa Hawkeyes pull off another upset as well?
When a defining moment comes along, you define the moment or the moment defines you. This game is the defining moment for the Jim Harbaugh era. The Iowa defense has held opponents to 34 total points in the past 4 games, but they're last in the nation in tackles for a loss. A lack of pass rush and an inspired effort from the Wolverines on defense will propel Michigan to victory. Teams that are made of something bounce back from adversity. Hail to the victors, hail to the khakis, and hail to laying the 5.5.
Chaz, I want to just tell you one thing before you get to the next pick. Do you realize in the preseason this was a 14-point spread?
Now it's at a 3.
No, well now it's
up to a 5.5 now. This was a 2-touchdown game,
but
though.
Because of that Wisconsin game, that is how much
That's crazy.
That's how much Vegas.
It's an overreaction. This is the best Wisconsin team in the past decade.
Oh, I totally agree with that too. So let's move on to that next one, Trev.
To, as many people believe, possibly the best team in college football right now. They're wearing the all blacks tomorrow, all blackout uniform tomorrow against Michigan State. Do the Spartans realistically have any chance? Is it the only chance they could is to get the field and kind of get him uncomfortable? Justin Fields. Is that the only way they have a chance in this game and stopping Chase Young as well?
Guys,
can't do both.
Ohio State's offense has been on cruise control. However, this is going to be their first real test against a quality defense. Yes, Cincinnati's defense is statistically terrific. And believe it or not, Indiana is ranked 35th in the nation for total defense. But give me a break. The Spartans are 3-5 in their last 8 games against the Buckeyes, with 2 of those losses coming by a single point. I never pick against a Catholic school or an Italian head coach. This pick will be no different. Give me spaghetti alla Sparty with the 18.5.
That's a huge spread. That's
Spaghetti.
a huge...
Say that again. What did you just say?
Spaghetti alla Sparty with the 18.5.
Alrighty, let's get over to the massive game in the SEC. This is going to be a run of SEC dominating now because you're going to have the big games. Next week, Florida plays LSU, I think, as well. So Florida's going. This is their nightmare stretch. Here we go. First game. The Tigers going into the swamp against an unproven Florida team right now offensively. Defensively, they looked great, but an unproven team. And then Bo Nix as well. He's starting to heat up. Does Bo go into the swamp and pull off another victory? What do you think?
Guys.
Or is he draining the swamp? Is he going to drain the swamp?
Bo Nix has been one of the biggest surprises in college football thus far. Heat check time. He turned it loose against Mississippi State, throwing for 335 yards and 2 touchdowns. But he's in for a rude awakening on Saturday in the swamp. Florida is getting their top pass rusher back and an NFL caliber corner as well.
Yes, they're back.
Even with these absences, the Gator defense has been allowing just under 9 points per game. Florida is like the girl you take home to mom. Not sexy, but dependable.
Wow, I love it.
I'm taking the home underdog here and grabbing that 3.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow, all right, brother?
We'll see you at Valenti's wedding.
Sounds good. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Oh, man, he is a bundle of joy.
That shocked me. That shocked me that he picked the Gators.
So let's get into the games. Let's start off in the Pac-12. Cal, like I said, once this could have been a top 15 matchup a week ago, Cal loses to Arizona State. They're going into Autzen Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in all of college football, by far. The Ducks, like he said, the offense struggled against their 2 quality opponents, but Herbert has looked good. And I think it comes down to Justin Herbert. If Justin Herbert can play to the expectations of where he's supposed to be, which is a top 3 pick next year in next year's NFL draft, I expect the Ducks to take care of business and continue the only team's hope and conference's hope in getting to a college football playoff chance is this Oregon Duck team. I think Oregon rolls, and I think they win about 40-21.
Say it with conviction, baby. Don't think.
I say 40-21.
I like it. I like it.
I'm done.
Now, Cal has the leading tackler in college football, their middle linebacker. They have a solid team. It was a disappointing loss last week.
Hell yeah.
Home against Arizona State. Very disappointing. Now, we'll see. We'll find out if their starting quarterback's going to play this week. He got banged up last week. That'll be a big factor. If he's able to suit up, this will be a closer game. But at the end of the day, Oregon's going to have too much talent. They're going to be home. They don't lose in the zoo. And Oregon wins by 2 touchdowns. I say 38-21.
Say it with conviction.
I did.
You didn't really.
I did.
You were thinking about it.
No, I did not.
Say it with your chest, brother.
That's because I was thinking what I was going to say without talking. For once in my life, I thought before I spoke.
Bravo.
About time, right, Trev?
I know. I'm only messing around. The next game, like you heard Chaz, and I love it because this could be
this is a make or break for Michigan. If they lose this
make
game,
or break. This is the make or break for Harbaugh's tenure.
No.
If they lose,
they're not going to fire him.
No, well, his seat got just that much.
What if he beat Ohio State at the end of the season?
If he gets,
it would change.
If he gets, if they lose another game and they get dominated, and they're playing in the big house on top of it, I know Hogan, big day, WWE SmackDown on Fox. If postseason starting actually right now, if they lose at home to Iowa, who is an undefeated team right now, but haven't played anybody yet, if they come into the big house and take care of business, this might be it. This might be the final. This is cherry on top.
I don't think so yet. Not yet. I know you
have be 2 losses. I still have to play Michigan State. Still have to play Penn State. Still have to play Ohio State.
Things could change. Here's the thing. You lose a game like this, right? But you beat Ohio State at the end of the season.
They ain't beating Ohio State. They ain't beating Ohio State.
That's what you think.
They're not beating Ohio State.
But if they did, it changes the whole story. Listen, this is a Kurt Ferentz team. We know what Kurt Ferentz is in Iowa.
Great coach.
Underappreciated. He gets the best out of the talent that he has. Okay? They always have a stymied defense.
They still have Nate Stanley still there.
I know.
I mean, that's experience.
He's a senior. He's going to know how to play. He's going to be ready. They have a top 10 talent defensive end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They have solid players. We know what type of tight ends. They always produce hard-nosed running backs. This is going to be one of those old-school knit-grit. It's going to be 17-14 Michigan wins with a late field goal. That's how Michigan wins. This is going to be a defensive matchup. Both teams, it's going to be a field position game.
Not so fast. I'm going with the upset, even though Iowa's ranked 14th and Michigan's 18th. I'm going with the Hawkeyes. Nate Stanley's experience, Kirk Ferentz's experience in big games. I like what he's done. He's been there forever. I mean, I remember when he was one of the coaches when Matt Leinart was at USC and Reggie Bush. And Carson Palmer. They played in the Orange Bowl, Iowa. Brad Banks,
yes,
as the quarterback.
number 7.
And they lost.
They got killed.
They got killed at USC and Carson Palmer. And Ferentz is still
2002.
Yes.
Ferentz
was still the coach there. It's amazing that he's been there for 17, probably longer. It's amazing what he's been able to establish in that program. And Iowa has been.
I give Michigan the advantage because they're home.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I always got to give that.
If they were,
but I'm going. It's a noon game, and I expect our Hawkeyes to pull off the upset. Go into the big house, and the seat of Jim Harbaugh just got that much hotter, according to Trev. So I got the Hawkeyes winning. I got 21-17.
And I'm just reading this.
I got 21-17.
Iowa has won each of the last 2 meetings against the Wolverines by a combined 4 points.
Yeah, remember they won on the walk-off field goal a couple years ago? Michigan was going to go to the college football playoff. They beat them on a Saturday night.
Yes.
14-13.
Yes.
I think we were at Geronimo's watching it. I remember that.
Probably. Yes, I remember.
Yep.
Yes.
He remembers.
38-yard, like
now
a 38-yard field goal.
Remembers.
There was a lot of tequila that night.
We'll drink a tequila.
Tequila.
Well, tequila's good.
Cousin was pouring the.
Oh yeah, he's taking care of us. He's great. The third game, another Big Ten matchup. To me, the most complete team. I'll give you that right before we get out. Ohio State, Michigan State. Michigan State gives problems to this Ohio State team in the past, but this is a different Ohio State team. Ryan Day. This team is hungry. They seem angry for being disrespected the past couple of years. I think they're going to blow out Michigan State too. I think they're going to destroy Michigan State, actually. I think this trend of Justin Fields being dominant, and I think his case for Heisman goes that much farther up after this victory. J.K. Dobbins has been a beast.
Antonio knows how to coach defense.
That's true.
He knows how to coach. Michigan State always gives
Guess
Ohio
what?
State.
You got to score points. And they have 2 top 10 talents, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Well, they have a defensive end who might be on the verge of breaking.
He don't play offense, though.
But
I know.
Their offense has been lights out.
They haven't played no one defensively. This is going to be the best defense by far.
You have to stop Chase Young. Chase Young
doesn't run the ball.
I'm talking about. You're going to have to score points.
I know.
And when that defense is after,
Michigan State's going to play great defense, and they're going to hold them.
You can only do so much with a good defense.
But eventually, I'm going to say the dam breaks.
You can only Ted. You could only do so much.
I'm still picking Ohio State. I'm just saying Michigan State's going to play great defense. They're going to hold them.
If you didn't, I would say you'd have to get off the show.
I think it's going to be 31.
What?
31.
Oh my God.
10. Ohio State wins.
So 3 touchdowns.
31.
You gave me all this hype of Michigan State. Great defense. They'll play great. Lose by 3 touchdowns. Not a great defense. It's not great defense.
31. Holding Ohio State right now, the 31 points is great defense because no one else can even hold them under 50.
Ohio State's putting up 45 plus.
Trev Fields has got over 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Ohio State's winning 45 plus in this game.
Listen, J.K. Dobbins.
They've been absolutely dominant. They've taken care of business in their schedule. Yes, their schedule has been weak, but you have to take advantage and take care of what you are given.
Quick question. Knowing the history of these two teams and how well they play against each other and how well they're coached, would you be shocked at 27-21 game? Because really, that's more of I think a realistic score. I could see 27-21 or 27.
Would I be shocked?
27-17?
No, because like you just said, I know what Michigan State does with Ohio State. I've seen it in the past, and Michigan State and Mark D'Antoni. Love Mark D'Antoni as a coach. Best coach in Michigan right now, in the state of Michigan, D'Antoni. He's been unbelievable. So underappreciated. And that's why I said I would not be surprised.
Listen, Michigan State's going to play great. But the reason why I think Ohio State, everyone's got to look at them differently is last year they were historically bad on defense. Historically bad.
This defense is really good now.
This defense this year is much better, much more improved.
Get after the quarterback.
Yes.
They cause turnovers. I know the competition hasn't been good, but guess what? They're beating them. They're taking advantage of them. And
I'm sorry, but if you go to Nebraska and you win 58-0, it's still that is impressive.
TCB. They're taking care of business. That's what they do.
I like that.
You never heard of that? Is that new to you?
Yeah. Is that like a new thing? Is that 2019?
He's never heard of that.
Is that?
He's never heard of that?
Is that new? No. How long has that been around, TCB?
Ask anybody. Go post it on Facebook. How long has TCB been around?
I know a bar named TCB.
I think Ohio State wins 45-20. I just don't think Michigan State has enough offense to generate any offense against this defense who's been dominant, and they have to be able. I do not see them stopping Justin Fields in that offense more than a couple drives.
Do you remember the game a couple years ago in a rain game, night game, Ohio State, and they barely won, but Michigan State missed a field goal at the end?
No, Michigan State beat them with the field goal when they had Zeke and
Just beware of this Michigan State team.
I will. When you lost Arizona State at home 10-9, I'm not really worried. Anyways, let's get over to the final game, the massive game in the SEC. Here we go. The nightmare stretch for both these teams of just playing the top-notch teams in the SEC. Here we go. The Swamp, one of the best places, one of the best venues, one of the best crowds, and one of the best theme songs.
Maybe one day I'll go there.
And one of the best theme songs, too. Fight songs. I love the game.
Now, Gus Malzahn was on the hot seat coming into this season.
Not right now, he isn't.
Right now, it's chilled off.
I think it's a little chill now.
This game has so many similarities. Both defenses are stout. Both teams are going to start true freshman quarterback.
Bo Nix and Kyle Trask.
Yeah, and Kyle Trask, listen, he's looked good in the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. He hasn't played no one. Understandable. Mm-hmm. The question for me will be, will Florida's offensive line, who has struggled mightily throughout the whole season, will they be sufficient enough to protect?
Let me ask you this question. I want you, as a Florida fan, what do you want to see from this team? And what do you expect? What do you want to see from them? Not even expect. You'll give me your prediction.
Listen,
what do you want to see from this Florida team?
I know what the defense is. The defense is always great. It's like Michigan State, similar.
Mm-hmm. But the offense?
The offense has been the problem. Are we going to be able to run the football first? Because we're a run-first centric team. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're missing one of our best players who's going to be out for the game, Tony.
Okay.
The kid that had that long run against Miami. He's out. But we get our best cornerback back, who's been out for the last 2 weeks, and we get our best pass rusher back. Now, the defense has still been stout. Florida always gets great defense. That's never been the problem. This game is not going to be won on the defense. It's going to be on what offensive line can control the defense line. Can Auburn do what they do? And that's, listen, Gus Malzahn, his ability to run like the option. Mm-hmm. Okay?
I have a question for you.
With the motions and everything. I look at Gus Malzahn and Dan Mullen, similar coaches.
Give me this. Do you think teams like Florida and Michigan, do you think they'll never be able to get to where they want to be unless they don't have a quarterback? Because they've had great defenses in the past, but the quarterback play has been subpar.
At the end of the day, the quarterback has to make the play.
Exactly. So do you think those teams will never be playoff contenders because of the fact that they don't have quarterback? The quarterback play is.
Yeah. I think Bo Nix is getting there. Now, I'm
talking about Florida and like a Michigan.
Now, yes. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If I'm not a fan of Florida, mm-hmm. I'm picking Auburn in this game. I think Auburn's defensive line is going to wreak havoc on the Florida offensive line. And I don't know if this kid is ready for this big game.
Kyle Trask?
Yeah. I don't know if he's ready yet. Bo Nix has been in a big game. Okay. His first big game was against Oregon. He led them down when they needed a victory. Okay, so he's been there. He's played Texas A&M, Mississippi State. So he's played bigger competition. This kid, Kyle Trask, has not played.
This defense is good, though.
Both defenses
really good.
They're really good.
Something's got to give on offense. This is all about something's got to give on offense. Which offense can make the play? That's what it comes down to, because I know what these defenses are going to do. Both are dominant. Both are nasty. Both get after the quarterback, cause turnovers. It comes down to which offense makes the play.
A lot of the experts like Auburn. Auburn's the favorite, even though it's at Florida.
I guess that's why I'm not an expert. Because guess what?
I think if you were asking me to be totally like down the middle, I'd pick Auburn. I really would. I think.
Say it with conviction.
I can't say conviction because my team is Florida.
Okay. So.
I'm hoping I'm proven wrong. I just think Auburn, the way they've been playing, they've played better competition. Florida has not played stellar competition. Miami's not that good. Yeah. They played Townsend last week, 30. They haven't played it. So Auburn, I feel, is better prepared for this. Are you
picking Florida or no?
No. I'm picking Auburn to win the game. By 10 points.
Wow. Okay.
I think Auburn has been preparing for this game all season. They're not overlooking Florida. Florida's going to play as hard as they possibly can. I just don't know if Florida's going to have enough offensively to win this game. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope the Florida Gators win by 100. If you told me, Ted, who would you pick, life or death? I'd pick Auburn.
I'm picking the Florida Gators. I'm going to go with the Florida Gators. I'm going to take my chances. I feel like this team is talented enough defensively to make the plays and cause Bo Nix. I know Bo Nix is starting to get hot, but I can see Florida, the defense. They're gonna have, these two quarterbacks are gonna have tough times, tough days.
If Florida's gonna win this, they're gonna win this with a special teams touchdown, like a punt return.
Do you remember
kickoff.
last year when they played LSU and LSU was like a top 5 team and they came into the swamp and Florida, they all thought LSU was gonna roll and Florida beat them? It's exactly what I think is gonna happen. I could see it being like a 20-17 game.
Florida's going to have to win defensively. They're going to have to win this.
I think it comes down to both teams to winning defensively. But one team's going to have to make that one play. And that's what it comes down to.
And you know what that's going to come down to? It's going to come down to the coaches.
Okay.
Dan Mullen and Gus Malzahn. Two similar coaches in the styles that they coach. Mm-hmm. What coach is going to be able to make that change?
That adjustment.
Because like we talk about in NFL, there's no better guy in second half adjustments than Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's a given. That's a given.
Can Dan Mullen make the adjustments on the run?
Can Gus Malzahn make?
You got the home crowd. That 90,000 people are going to be insane.
It's going to be great. 3:30 CBS. 3:30 CBS. Can't wait. I'm picking the Gators though. I'm going to go with the Gators, bro. I can't believe you didn't pick your Gators.
I'm doing
whatever. That's fine.
Pick the opposites.
Did you pick the Vikings? I think I picked the Vikings to win too.
I picked the Vikings
because everybody's on the Giants. A lot of people on the Giants. Don't get too. All right, before we got out, I want to give my reaction, and people kind of went at me on this because I had my top 5 predictions of the first month. My top 5 teams. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2 was Bama. Number 3 was LSU. Number 4 was Clemson. Number 5 was Georgia. I say Ohio State because, yes, they haven't played anybody, but Clemson hasn't played anybody. Alabama hasn't played anybody. LSU played somebody. Oklahoma hasn't really played anybody. I think this is the most complete team in college football right now. I know people might say Alabama. I love what Justin Fields is doing. Their defense is getting after the quarterback, causing turnovers. They're running the football. They're throwing the football. Justin Fields can run with his feet, and he's got an unbelievable arm. They are the most complete team right now, being the most dominant. You only can do what you are given on your schedule. And when I say Clemson at 4, and a couple people said, but they're the defending national championships. But give me a time this year that they've looked convincingly.
Won convincingly.
They looked convincing in any of their games.
None of them.
Trevor Lawrence looked convincing in any of his games.
He's got like more picks this year than he does all last year.
Let's be realistic. They should have lost last week if it wasn't for a terrible play call by North Carolina. Exactly. They were coughing. They're choking. North Carolina blew that game. They had an opportunity to pull off the upset. They have not looked good, Clemson. I will not put Clemson until they look impressive. I'm sorry. Their schedule is not given. I'm sorry. The ACC stinks. It's bad. But Ohio State has looked great. It was either Alabama or Ohio State. I went with Ohio State because, yes, I'm an Ohio State fan, but they've looked convincing. Each win, dominant. Not even close. One of the big games this week they're talking about is Cincinnati against UCF. Ohio State just beat Cincinnati by 6 touchdowns. I know Cincinnati's not a top. I mean, Cincinnati is a pretty good team.
How about Nebraska was one of the darlings of...
And then, I forgot. Exactly. Thank you. Nebraska, one of the darlings of the year coming in. Oh, they're going to be great. Yeah. They lost 48-0.
It could have been 70-0.
I know.
Easily.
They shut out two really good programs. Nebraska hasn't been good, but Cincinnati's been competitive. And they shut them out both. Clemson hasn't played anybody to say, wow. And they almost lost to North Carolina. Alabama hasn't played anybody. Now they're taking care of business. Clemson, to me, I'm lucky I put them in my top 4. But because what I've seen a lot on TV is some people don't even have Clemson in the top 4 right now.
Charles didn't have him in the top 5.
No, he had LSU, he had Georgia, he had Ohio State, and he had Oklahoma or Alabama.
He had Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, Georgia.
He had 3 teams in the top 4.
Yes.
3 SEC teams in Ohio State. That's what he had. He had Ohio State, and Bama, Oklahoma. LSU, and Georgia. And then Oklahoma was 5. He didn't even have them Clemson in the top 4.
So he had Ohio State 1, he had Alabama, LSU, and Georgia 2, 3, 4, and then Oklahoma 5. He didn't have
Clemson.
Clemson.
They didn't have Clemson. Until
Because you can make the argument Auburn is the 6th best team.
Until Clemson has, they could be possibly the 7th best.
You can make the argument Notre Dame is right there. Okay, they lost a tough game.
They looked great.
And they proven
They looked good
Jordan,
so far.
and they've looked good.
I'm just saying that until Clemson, I know they're not going to have a tough schedule going forward, but until they look convincing,
Start proving it.
Trevor Lawrence, you were supposed to be, going to have the greatest year in the world. Clemson, the greatest world league. You're going to be the most dominant team ever. You haven't looked not even close to the word dominant. Until you prove me, I'm not putting Clemson in my top 3. I know I'm a homer, but Ohio State's looked the most convincing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are signing off. The quest for 28 starts tonight. Very excited as a Yankee fan. I can't wait. Thank you to Joe Aguirre and Big Chaz for calling in today. If you didn't get to see our show today, check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow our page, Keys to the City, as well. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back next week. See you later, everyone.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.